tuned in to find out which one is better, the GR Corolla or the GR Yaris. But first, can I ask a question? How did we get here? And I'm not talking about what our parents did in the backseat of a Toyota to put us on this planet. Ugh. But now, Toyotas are sexy. Even the Prius got hot. Somehow, the most fun closed sports car in the world has a Toyota badge on it. And then there's that thing, which is possibly the most punch above its weight sports car ever made. Together, these two are the most important enthusiast hatchbacks in what, 30 years? How in the name of all things holy and right did that happen?
This is a story about a pair of hot Toyota hatchbacks and a Lancia.
Kleine GTI, du siehst prima aus.
But we'd be remiss if we didn't first tip our hats in the direction of another company, Volkswagen, for both inventing the hot hatch and then keeping the flame alive for 8 successive generations of GTI. That is a serious commitment. And this is a serious story.
GTI.
The hot hatchback, known colloquially as the hot hatch, is a practical, affordable, economical box that can keep up with sports cars. They're wonderful, and we adore them. But there exists a different type of hatch, one that lives one rung up on the coolness ladder. I'll call that a super hatch. And unlike a mere hot hatch, the super hatch doesn't exist for quick commuting, it exists for racing. Rally racing.
This is the most extreme, deranged, demented, idiotic, irresponsible, and psychotic sanctioned motorsport of them all. The super hatch isn't just a quicker version of a people's car like the GTI is. The super hatch is engineered and sold to the public solely to be eligible to participate in the WRC. And the super hatch was invented by the Lancia Delta Integral.
Didn't just do well in rally. No. The Integrale won the World Rally Championship 6 times in a row. And that is something no other car has ever done before or since. Hot hatches of the time used little screaming engines to make 100 horsepower. But the Integrale made twice that. Hot hatches were all front-wheel drive, but the Integrale drove all 4 with rear-biased all-wheel drive. And man, did that make all the difference in the world. Power down to the ground. Yeah, bitches. Hot hatches were all tall and narrow, but the Integrale was flared out to be 6 inches wider than a regular Delta, all so that they could just fit more tire. Damn. With 4-wheel disc brakes, four-wheel independent suspension, and that rear-biased all-wheel drive system. Not to mention the double overhead cam, 16-valve turbocharged and intercooled Aurelio Lampredi 2-liter. This thing just didn't happen to win 46 WRC races. It wasn't just casually compared to the Porsche 959. No, it was widely considered to be one of the, if not the, fastest over-the-road car in the world.
If you don't know much about this legend, it's because you played soccer as a kid and didn't call it football. We never got the Lancia Delta Integral in the US. In fact, with the exception of a fragile and not particularly successful little Mazda, we've never gotten a single homologation rally hatchback ever.
And in 2020, when we were all locked away from our friends and family, scared to death, learning what shelter in place meant, Toyota gave the world a glimmer of hope.
Toyota dropped the most exciting enthusiast car of the year and the most significant rally homologation hatchback in decades. It was the GR Yaris.
A 257 horsepower turbocharged 3-cylinder, 6-speed manual, limited slip differential, 2-door, all-wheel drive, bulging bulldog of hope.
The GR Yaris was conceived from the ground up to compete in the World Rally Championship as the Yaris WRC. Except, of course, the year was 2020, and we all know what that means. Thanks to COVID, Toyota had to close up shop and abandon the entire rally project. Toyota killed off the WRC car.
But said screw it and decided to make the street car anyway, because this is so much more than just a homologation car. This was Toyota's chance to prove to the world that it really did want to come back from lockdown one of the cool kids.
The differences between the GR and a regular Yaris might not be obvious at first, but they're outrageous and the sort of thing that manufacturers just won't spend money on because it doesn't return a profit. For example,
all Yarises are 5 doors, except the GR is a 3-door. Its forged carbon roof tapers by 3.75 inches by the time it gets to the back. And that's solely so it can send more air to the big WRC spoiler. The hood, the doors, and the tailgate are all aluminum. This weighs nothing. Its structure gets 259 additional welds and 48 additional feet of structural adhesive.
like the big Delta, it's 6 inches wider than the car it's based on for additional track width. And to that end, the GR Yaris uses the Corolla's wider, fully independent rear suspension in place of the Yaris's torsion beam.
And of course, it uses Toyota's first all-wheel drive system in more than 2 decades, hooked up to the most powerful 3-cylinder engine the world has ever seen. This is a dream come true. And guess what? Right away, Toyota said it wasn't coming to the US.